I guess one of the things I was inviting everyone to really connect with in our opening meditation was the fact that we are all the same creation at the deepest level. And at the deepest level, all of creation is within us. And that means that we are every single aspect. We are the dark, the light, the positive, the negative. We are Trump. We are a newborn babe. We're Hitler. We're Gandhi. We're Mother Teresa. We're the everyday mother and father. We're the factory worker. We're the refugee. We are all of it. And what I want to bring our awareness back to is that as long as we approach what is happening in ourself or in the world in a dualistic manner, we will continue to be split in ourself and from each other. We are not a split creation, although we perceive things with a mind that creates the view of duality. It creates this and that, left and right. I'm for Trump, I'm against Trump, etc. Even though our mind does this, in reality, we are all of this. And so our ability to meet the challenges we face now, the crises that we face in the world, are really asking us to go beyond that polarity. It's really asking us to see that we, as an individual and as creation, are multifaceted. We are nuanced. We are not one thing or the other. Trump is not all good or all bad. Like me, I'm not all good or all bad. I am human, I am consciousness, I am creation, I am the infinite realm of being, of every single expression of existence. I am all this. And it is in my capacity to welcome this that I have unconditional compassion and acceptance for every person, for every view, and through this, the openness, the willingness to respond holistically. Compassion is the invitation for us to become whole again. And that is a deep journey. It is asking us to welcome again the parts of us that we have pushed away in ourselves and in each other. So how can we see Trump in this way? How can we see the virus in this way? Is it really that we can say 100% and only 100% we should not care about this virus? Is it that we can say 100% and only that we should absolutely do everything to stop and kill and control this virus? Really, in truth, it is a fusion, it is a synergy of all these different dynamics. So as a virus, it represents our fear of life. It represents our resistance, our denial, our control, that we're so afraid of the nature of life, that we can't embrace the nuances, that we want to force it into one way or another way. And consequently, we're not truly living. We're not fully dead. We're not fully alive. We're somewhere in between. And it's a mess. And it's a mess because we don't welcome the mess. We don't welcome the fact that it's beyond these polarities. We've forgotten that as this being that is here, we are everything. And only when we can open our hearts, our minds, and our eyes again to this, will we begin to see each other's reasons. Will we welcome each other's perspectives and see that all these different reasons and angles, they're part of the same whole field of creation. It's like a rock. I don't know if you know this little story, the metaphor of the Native American elders teaching of every single generation. They all come together, they sit in a circle, they put a rock in the middle of the circle, and they ask every person from the youngest to the oldest to describe the rock. And of course everyone's sitting around, they look at the rock, and one person says, well, it's rough, and the other person says, no, it's smooth, and another person says, oh, but it's very blue. No, another one says it's pink. You see, we're all looking from a distinct perspective, but each one of these eyes is the window of the same consciousness, the same creation. So if we step back into consciousness, then we begin to see this again. We can't see this. We can't really embody the truth of compassion from here. We have to come right back into pure awareness, pure consciousness. That's where everything exists. It's no longer split and divided. I have the same compassion for Trump voters, for Trump haters. I have the same compassion for virus believers, for virus deniers. The same compassion for vaxxers, for anti-vaxxers. I see the reason for it all because I rest in consciousness. From this, I'm able to embrace with a deeper understanding that all of it is our shared creation. So, hence why we're in a mess, really, because we try to put everything in boxes. That's not reality. And the irony is, the more we try to put things in boxes, the tighter they become, the more people fight and break. And so that's what's happening in the world. On the one hand, it looks like more control. On the other hand, it's the breaking apart of control. We are in self-destruct mode. And that's very good, because from that destruction comes new creation.